That's a sad go-to.
It is.
The fact that their go-to is that they hurt one of our players one time is such a sad way to go.
God.
Alan Lazard. You try to put him down low because maybe you won't see him.
John, any last words before we hop off here?
Go Pack, go, baby.
Go Pack, go. The one thing that's keeping me from taking the Packers to win by 30.
I don't care if you go to every game, what game. Not only that, but you are in the second row.
Yeah.
The second row. And you're going to try to tell me to sit down? Get lost.
Get freaking lost.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning in, commenting. We love chatting with you guys. Enjoy the game. Check us out on Twitter, at Rob Westerman3 for me, at JBeckman30 for John. Have a great rest of your day. Let's get a win, and let's go freaking bear hunting, all right? We'll catch you guys later. Thank you. What is going on, everybody? I'm Rob Westerman of GBP Daily, and joining me for the 11th episode of Pack Casual, as he does every single week, the one and the only Johnathan Beckman. John, game day is tomorrow. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I got my banana blueberry muffin, glass of chocolate milk. I'm ready, baby.
You ready to roll or what?
I'm ready.
Yeah?
You
don't have any.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
You don't have any problem staying up late on a weeknight watching the Packers get a dub, do you?
Hell no. I messaged a couple of my guys that I play a little bit of video games with during the week, and I said, can't tomorrow, guys, so maybe later tonight, but tomorrow's all packed, baby.
Tomorrow's all packed, baby, as it should be. So, there's been a lot going on. You just want to dive in?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the defensive side of the ball. Joe Barry, unfortunately, is on the COVID reserve list, and in his place for tomorrow will be Jerry Gray calling plays for the defense. Gray was a defensive coordinator for the Bills and Titans a few years back. So along with that and all the defensive coaches calling this game kind of as a collective effort, I'm not too worried about it. Bummer because as we've all seen, this defense is playing some good football. So for this to happen kind of, just sucks. And, hope he's good health-wise. I haven't heard anything. So you call plays for a varsity program here in the area. Let's say, hypothetically, you weren't able to be around the team and would have to, help game plan remotely and then hand over some play calling duties to one of your colleagues. What would that be like? And is there any concern going into tomorrow night with things like rhythm or like situational play calls needing to be made?
Right. I mean, one thing that no matter what I can say is that as much as you practice with the same coaches, go over the same game plans, you'll always have one or two little differences, right?
Yeah.
So there might be something that we see differently, although it hasn't been a problem as of late because we've played really good man coverage.
Yep.
I wonder what type of defense a defensive back coach is going to call, because we've been crying about on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4 is that our corners have been playing 8-9 yards off. Well, your corners better not be 8-9 yards off tomorrow. I mean,
they're going to be playing some press man, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You always sit there and you just hope that regardless of whatever happens, you stick with the flow of what you guys have repped for the last 3 months.
Right.
Like, call your situational things that you feel confident in. Because I think Gray was under consideration to be one of the D coordinators coming into the year.
This last offseason, yeah.
So, I mean, all you would want is like, hey, man, it's your show. Just stick to what we do, though. Like, you call the plays, you do whatever. Just don't do shit. Don't change what we've been doing, right? So that's the way I would look at it, right?
No, I get it. What I don't understand is obviously with today's day and age and all the technology and whatnot, how can't Joe Barry call the game remotely? You know what I mean? Like,
wouldn't that be funny?
If he's in the press box, which he's not,
yeah.
it's kind of the same thing.
I can understand away games being weird though, because
Oh yeah, I guess never mind.
you would have to put on a flight. Home games, I could see being a little bit different. Like you could totally quarantine an area
Up in the
and
press box or
whatnot.
something.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I'm not as disappointed in that as the Alan Lazard thing, but I know that's a political huge thing. Uh,
So annoying.
I know you've got it a little bit deeper in the conversation, but I'm gonna bring it up now because I've had discussions about it. It's if in a few talking points because you talk about Alan Lazard having COVID. I'm sorry to ruin your flow.
No,
I
you're
don't want to
good.
make things too political, so I'll just pipe down my words a little bit too long. But I just think that now, correct me if I'm wrong. Alan Lazard does not actually have a positive COVID test, correct?
From what I know, he's not vaccinated. So
Correct, but
since he's
does
been around Adams, he's
yeah,
automatically out for 5 days. If he
exactly.
were vaccinated, then
No, right.
you know,
And see, and my biggest question mark on this is if a guy does not test positive
yeah.
yesterday, today, just because he's a close contact, why can he not play? Because if he keeps being negative, why can't he play? I
It's the
understand
rules, dude. It's
that's
the
above
rules.
that's above some of my knowledge as far as how COVID works because it is what it is. I know it's a political issue and everybody wants to cry. I don't want to turn this show into a political issue because I know you don't. But I'm telling you right now, it is absolutely fucking stupid.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Wrecker Ralph says, what are your thoughts on the vaccine? CZ,
I'm not
CZ,
not diving deep. Too many political
it's just everything overall is annoying. And Jordan Noah says, bear down. Jordan, yeah, bear down, bro.
Lil Row, we're never
um,
short-handed. Put Elton Jenkins at wide receiver. Lil Row,
well,
what is up?
dude, the thing is, like with the whole vaccine thing, it's like everyone's pissed at him and all this stuff, and it's like you're tweeting
Yeah,
all this,
I understand.
you're tweeting all this stuff. You're acting as if he's gonna see your tweets, and then like, oh, like you know what? Some guy with 30 followers tweeted me this, and so now I'm gonna go and reevaluate my decision. It's like, no, dude, like whatever you put on Twitter, it just doesn't make any sense to waste your time talking about it or freaking
Okay.
out about somebody's decision. Like,
I know a lot of the Packer world is extremely pro vaccination, so I'll hold my arguments to that because I know stuff like this will be put on Twitter, and I'm not here to argue.
no, right? No, and it's just not worth it because no matter what way you are, there's no winning. Everybody either hates you or they don't. Just like just like as far as presidents go and all that bullshit. So who'd you vote for president? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So, no, that's perfect though, because I was just about to bring up Davante Adams, also on the reserve COVID list. As you texted me right away, he was on pace for a crazy statistical season, in yet another year where he won't play every game. So, Cardinals defensive coordinator Vance Joseph had this to say about Davante not being able to play tomorrow. I found it pretty interesting. He said, sometimes it helps them to play an even cleaner game. When you have a guy like Adams, who is a valiant pass catcher, you can kind of trap Rodgers into throwing him the ball, but without him, it forces Rodgers to play a true game, and that's sometimes dangerous for us. What are your thoughts on the offensive flow without Davante?
6-0, right? No, I'm kidding. No, I mean obviously it's a weird stat. Green Bay 6-0 on it. I mean, the one thing that I didn't like that Joseph had said is that Rodgers kind of like forces the ball to Adams.
He's always open.
I don't know about you, but I don't feel like he ever forces the ball. And if he forces the ball, he catches the damn ball, does he not?
Yeah,
I mean I can't sit here and honestly say that I feel like Rodgers has forced the ball to Adams over the last few years. I mean, can you say the same?
No, I mean, sorry, repeat your question. I was reading some comments. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think that Rodgers has forced the ball to Adams over the like to me, forcing it and just giving more opportunity. I mean, it's kind of a weird way to word this, but no matter what, I don't feel like he's forced it to him and put it into triple, quadruple coverage,
right?
When it's unnecessary. I mean, he throws the ball to him when he like he said last week. Throwing it to Tay is never a 50-50. It's always in our favor.
Yeah, he's always got the advantage. No, like you said, I don't think they're forcing it to him. Like him and Aaron Jones are the two primary guys that every single play is made up for. So every pass play, obviously Devontae is the number one read, unless it's some sort of rollout to a tight end where they're the first read, and even then Devontae's probably open. But no, I don't think
Yeah.
they're.
I didn't answer your question fully. I'm sorry, I kind of did deviate, but you said
you're good.
What will happen? I mean, a lot of people think it's going to be the Aaron Jones game.
Yep.
In the
I could
last
see it easily, obviously.
In the last games without Adam, I mean, there's got to be something, some sort. Green Bay will probably come out in some sort of formation, or come out with some sort of matchup that they like to exploit. I mean, LaFleur's always been good with that. So, I mean, yeah, he'll play within the system, but come on now, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna do what he does, right?
Yeah,
guys aren't open, then guys aren't open.
It's just how it goes. On another note, Lazard obviously also on the reserve COVID list. Yep. And as we were talking about earlier, since he is not vaccinated, he's automatically out for 5 days. Yep. He hasn't had as many catches so far this year as we expected, but his role as a blocker obviously is going to be a big hole to fill. Preston Smith, Kevin King, both listed as questionable. Any surprise there with Kevin King? It seems like this dude just can't.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested.
Just can't get uninjured. It's tough. Yeah. It's frustrating as fans, obviously, but I'm sure for him it's even more frustrating. He's been hurt.
Well, here's the question, and I'm not going to overjump because of the last week or two, but we have had Chandon Sullivan playing good, and if he comes back, does Kevin King, where does he fit? I don't know. I mean, they're going to have to figure that out as far as that. But, I mean, I guess we'll go and figure that out.
Yeah, obviously, Shannon had a good game last week. And even the week before against the Bears, I think he only gave up a few catches for 11 yards or something. So, yeah, that's some decent news there. Other news, Bakhtiari obviously has yet to be activated. And as John and myself had assumed, we probably won't see him until November 7th against the Chiefs, which is in a week and a half. Positive note here, which is great news, that chocolate milk looks delicious. Coach said yesterday that he does expect to have Jair back sometime this season. So, as you just brought up, when Jair is back, Stokes is playing good. I mean, Rasul Douglas, he's probably, if he keeps playing well,
we need him to play well. That's all. We don't need him to be a star.
And I'm a Rasul fan for sure. If he keeps playing well, he's got to be in front of Kevin King.
That was a crime. That penalty they called on him last week was a crime.
That was bad. Did you see that one play on the fumble where he just came in so fat? Did you see that?
Dude, they fumbled the ball 4 times, but yeah.
No, seriously, yeah, and they recovered it every single time. So, yeah, Jair's coming back at some point this season.
Any updates on MVS being active? I have not seen anything. It seems like Green Bay might be playing a little bit of a game of hide and seek of who's showing up and who's going to play. Because right now, some guys aren't going to be there. So right now, you might as well wait till the last second to be like,
just like active. You're back. No, just like the Cardinals, they said DeAndre Hopkins was a game time decision. It's like really, this dude is playing and he's going to come out and own like he does every. Side note though, he has yet to have a 100-yard game. He has 7 touchdowns, but he hasn't had a 100-yard receiving game. So
yeah, I mean AJ Green. I mean they've got.
People trying to say he's better than Devontae. Get the out of here.
He also plays with AJ Green. I mean that wide receiver, of course.
AJ Green, Christian Kirk. Those, they got a good.
Well, so I mean we're already kind of talking about it. Tidbits. One thing I was listening to the radio on the way home from work, and I saw Rodgers is, and I could be wrong on this, but this is a fact that I heard. Rodgers is 38-21 in primetime games.
Not bad.
That's pretty damn good.
Not bad.
First primetime regular season game between us and the Cardinals. 2 of the last 3 games have against Arizona have gone in overtime. Not for good reasons. Packers have won 5 of the last 7 games on Thursday night. Rodgers has started 12 Thursday night games in his career, 27 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Green Bay's 8-4 in those games.
Damn.
Aaron Jones has 3 rushing touchdowns in 5 Thursday night games played. We might see 3 tomorrow alone.
Yes, sir.
And then Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, my personal favorites to a point. are one of the top 2.
One of mine, yeah.
We'll be announcing the game tomorrow night along with Aaron Andrews and Christina Pink reporting on the sidelines. What's your opinion on Joe and Troy when it comes to announcing Packers games?
Oh, man. A lot of Packers fans hate those guys.
It's been going on for a long time.
A long time.
Really, at this point, I just have never grabbed a horrible vibe from them, to be honest.
No, I get it. Like I said, I know a lot of Pack fans hate these guys, as announcers, but let's face the facts, shall we? Joe Buck, a Hall of Fame announcer. Like, he's in the Hall of Fame for being an announcer. One of the best announcers in sports history. Troy Aikman, Hall of Fame quarterback, does a good job. He's got firsthand knowledge of the game, which is always, kind of like Tony Romo. They may have had some bias against the Packers years ago, but it seems like recently that's kind of maybe gone away. I don't know. I've really enjoyed listening to them over the last few years. I read a story that the two of them would drink a margarita in the booth to help them stay relaxed. And I think that's pretty funny. Apparently, Joe Buck used to have a beer with him during like playoff baseball games and like sip on that to help him like relax and stuff. And then when he went over to the football booth, Troy didn't want beer. So they wanted to do tequila. And so they did margaritas instead. They haven't done it for a few years now, is what they had said in the article. But I don't know. I think that's pretty funny. But the majority of Packers fans hate them for reasons of their own. They get America's Game of the Week. They get primetime games like tomorrow night. And for Joe Buck, he gets the World Series all for a reason. Mm-hmm. It's because they're the best out there right now. So personally, I'm excited to listen to them tomorrow. And a little side note, one of my favorite calls ever was from Joe Buck during that Falcons-Packers playoff game. John, you ready for it?
Tramon Williams.
Are you ready for it? Yes, he was on the Tramon Williams pick six against Matt Ryan. He goes, it's so good. I listened to it today. He goes, in the passes picked off, they tried to bite off more yardage, and they just got burned.
That's
the best.
Listen, that there's specific plays that you'll always remember, and you'll always remember who was the guy commentating them at the time or whatever. And I'll just never forget the way he said, Tramon Williams. Just like, and I can just see him running. I just see that.
Like, even when he said picked off, he's like, in the pass is picked off. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, it was. And then he just wrecked the Falcons and said, they tried to bite off more yardage and they just got burned. I was like, as Tramon Williams is going to the end zone for a pick six, I'm like, good Lord, Joe, take it easy. So with that, that's one of my favorite Packer plays of all time, mainly because Tramon Williams is one of my favorite Packers of all time. Got to meet him, he signed my jersey this, so that goes into it. But my question to you is, what's your favorite Packers play all time, if you have one, or maybe two? That's a tough question. I know, obviously, there's thousands and thousands of great plays. A lot of great plays in Super Bowls because we won a lot. So I know there's a lot.
The most hype I ever got for specific plays, I'm going to exclude the Super Bowl, okay?
Okay.
The most hype I've ever gotten for plays were the Hail Mary versus the Lions.
Everything was going wrong in that game.
Everything was going wrong, and I was so mad. I was so mad. And for us to come back and win that game, it was 10:30 at night at that point, our time.
The game was ridiculous.
I was throwing shit everywhere. That one's up there.
Okay.
My favorite growing up was the Antonio Freeman touchdown. Antonio Freeman was my favorite player outside of Brett Favre growing up when I was 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. That or 5, 6, 7, 8 yards years old. When I was 10, whatever. That play I'll never forget. When Rodgers came back in the game, he got hurt against the Bears. That touchdown to Cobb. For me, it's the emotional ones that I remember the most, because it's just like there's everything that builds up to it.
Yep.
And I'll think of some more probably by the end, but I'd say
it's a lot. We can always round back to it too.
My favorite one in person was probably one of two. It was either the Hail Mary to Randall Cobb in the playoff game before half, or
Okay.
the touch versus the Giants. I think it was. Yeah, it was the Giants, or the Richard Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers to Richard Rodgers rolling left, fitting it in a dime versus Dallas in the divisional.
That was nasty. That was naughty. That was just straight naughty.
That you put me on the spot. I didn't have time to think.
Yeah, no,
I'm throwing those ones out there. Those were my big ones.
Give me a few seconds. The other one for me that obviously sticks out is the 2013.
Yeah, the 109-yard touchdown.
Week 17. Yeah. So, little side note here before I talk about that. Judy, I apologize if I mispronounced it. She DM'd me today and asked what time we go live and whatnot. I'm super sorry if I'm getting these wrong. Either way, they DM'd me today asking when we go live, whatnot. They wanted to join. She's out over on the East Coast, or he's on the East Coast, and they don't get much Packers coverage. So they wanted to hop on and hang out with us. So they held true to their word, and they're here. They're chiming in. I really appreciate that. So,
hell yeah.
On another note, my other favorite game or other favorite play, Joe Buck was also calling when obviously 4th and 8. He goes, he's got Cobb, and then he freaks out. He's like, touchdown!
You're right. How could
Aaron Rodgers going like this?
How could you forget that one?
Like, come on. That season was,
the emotional plays are what I remember the most.
Like, another one of my favorite plays.
It's Jared. Just a different way of spelling it.
Jared. Perfect. I'm glad we got that cleared up. Thanks, Jared. Another one of my favorites was also against the Bears in the run the table season to Jordy on 3rd and 10 late in the game. It's super cold. 3rd and 10, throws the bomb to Jordy. He points off Lucas Patrick, I think it was, or
he would get the fuck off.
He was like lipping. He's like, get off the fucking field. And he goes up and he's freaking out. Then all of a sudden he gets up there and spikes it. And in comes who? Mr. Mason Crosby.
That was about a 60-yard ball in the air too, if I remember correctly. There's so many good ones.
Especially the last 10, 15
remember it, but he had an incredible throw to Cobb against the Rams like 10 years ago.
Yes, was it
no, he was like rolling left. It was in the dome. It wasn't.
He was rolling left and then he corks one in the back of the end zone and boom.
I mean, some of the other. That the touchdown that was to Tunyon against Seattle when he's rolling right.
Yep, and the all whites
plays were just ridiculous to watch. The Al Harris pick six is up there for me. Gosh, there's just so many good plays.
Take that shit to the house, baby. Al Harris.
You're asking something that we could sit here and talk about for 12 hours.
Oh, I know.
We got to move on.
Relive some good memories. All right. We're gonna move on here. So you got the tidbits out of the way. Got Joe Buck, Troy Aikman out of the way. They're one of the best in the business. They're my second favorite group behind Chris Collinsworth, Al Michaels.
Right.
Just to put that out there. So we've got just under 24 hours until kickoff in Arizona. Cardinals are undefeated, 7-0. A little note, this is the third primetime matchup in NFL history between two teams with a 6+ game winning streak. Let's chat about the Cards a little bit. Overall series between the Packers and Cardinals when playing at their stadium, all knotted up at 16-16 and 4 ties. Last time we played in Arizona, John, was in 2015 during the divisional round of the playoffs.
Larry Fitzgerald.
That game, more than any, shows that Rodgers can elevate whoever is out there with him. He was thrown to Jeff Janis, Jared Abbrederis, Andrew Quarles, and almost snuck out of there with a win.
Rob.
What?
Why did we not go for 2?
I was just about to ask you. Why did we not go for 2?
I'm sorry. I understand the receivers were – I don't even remember if we had a timeout. Call a damn timeout for all I care. But in that moment, Green Bay was playing with House on the road, a receiving corps that didn't deserve to see the field in the NFL in the playoffs. Go for 2. Oh, that killed me in the moment. And I'm not the most aggressive person in the world as far as that type of thing, personally. because I'm a lot more of like, take your points, the whys and all that. Sometimes analytics for me don't do it 100%. But in that moment, the why do you not go for 2? Why do you not go for 2?
I don't get it. You must have been reading coach's mind, because when we were talking about the why and the how behind like play calling and stuff, analytics, coach came on the presser like 2 days after we were talking about that and like literally mimicked what you had said. Like, there's a why behind the play call. Like, there, certain situations and whatnot. So bravo and kudos to you for calling that out. No, I get it. We could go on and on. Like, we could go on and on.
Oh, that just makes me so mad to this point. And I know it's all hindsight, but I was saying it during the moment.
No, I was too, because we didn't deserve to be there.
Dude, if
4th and 20, we throw a heave to Jeff Janis.
If we don't make the 2-point conversion, like, there's a lot of things to like sit on, and we might be complaining to this day that, we should have just gone to overtime. But we have been burned in overtime so many damn times.
Yeah, that overtime was such.
In the moment, and today, I'm sitting here, and obviously it's because we lost. Maybe even if we would have won, I would have sat here today and tell you, I really thought we should have gone for 2.
No, I'm with you. That we could go on and on.
I'm going
on and on about our
tyrants on rants today.
No, you're good. Like I said, we can go on and on about our fair plays. We go on and on about heartbreaking losses, because we've suffered more than any other franchise.
Big games.
In Wisconsin sports in general, like Badger basketball, Final Four loss. Next year to that, national championship loss. Like the Brewers losing, like the Packers losing constantly. Wisconsin football going undefeated in the Big Ten championship and losing when they're up 24-3. Like, just constant stuff I don't even care to get into. So, anyways, moving on.
Sorry.
Cardinals are last in the league in allowing explosive runs, 20-plus yards, by the way. And the run defense gives up over 5 yards a carry, which ranks 31st in the league. Last week, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones had 9 total carries. We still won, but I feel like that's a recipe for just an L automatically for whatever reason. And I was listening to something other today. All those quick passes and everything, that was essentially our running game, I suppose, since the Washington football team's front was, pretty good. My question to you is running the ball the simple solution tomorrow, or are we going to have to, throw some trick plays in there, surprise onside kicks, fake field goals into the mix to come out with a win? What do you think?
Yeah, right. I don't think we're that desperate.
I don't think so either.
I don't think we're the Lions. Like, at the end of the day,
if we got Aaron Rodgers, mother trucker.
If we come into this game at full strength in the playoffs or whatever, I can totally see us doing something like a trick play, because it's a short week, right? Yep. You're so focused on like, oh gosh, what do we got to do, that your brain sometimes isn't there, that you might be able to catch them or some stuff in the bag, as they say.
Yeah, they've been saying that all week, huh?
Yeah, some stuff in the bag. Hopefully they come out and their piss is hot.
That's like another thing where it's like
a weird thing.
Things like that keep getting said, and then everybody like says it. Then it's like not even cool anymore. Like, I was talking to you. You work at a shirt place. I was like, yeah, let's do some I own you shirts. And then I see 10 different models out there, and I'm like, well, that's not. It's like not even cool anymore. I feel like 2 days after the fact. So I'm like fuck it.
I don't. So back to it. I don't think we need to come out and act like we're desperate like that.
Right.
I think we're a good I think Green Bay's a good football team, and I think Green Bay. I think everyone knows that Green Bay's undermanned.
Yeah.
But I think Green Bay can still win this game.
No, I think so too. I don't think the Cardinals. They're 7-0.
I
respect to them.
Last week, Rodgers was talking. He's just like, "Hey, we just couldn't run the ball against them. They had a really good front."
Yeah, our O-line's been mixed and banged up all year.
Yeah, we just couldn't run the ball, and plus their DBs were bad. But we'll move on to Arizona. So I could see it. Plus, at the end of the day, look at Rodgers. He was efficient as hell. But I'm moving on. Right.
Yep.
I think you have to probably run the ball against a team that doesn't stop the run that well. I think they're like 18th in the league, which, at 18th, 12th, 24th.
They're all so close.
If they're winning by 20 points, teams aren't running the ball, right? So, of course, they might be down at 18 or up at 18. that type of stuff.
They're skewed. Maybe season
It,
long,
it
sure,
can
but
be
we're 7
skewed.
games
So,
in.
it can be skewed so much.
They've
but
scored 30 plus in most of their games, so it's
I just hope the Green Bay establishes a run. But I don't know. Obviously, being a lifelong Packers fan and especially love the Aaron Rodgers era and really like what LaFleur comes out for his game plans. I'm curious to see what part they like to exploit.
Yep. No, I'm with you.
We might come out throwing the ball, and we might be surprised because they might sit there and go,
they're going to run the ball, but it's like, yep.
After the
got
game,
Amari Rodgers down the field, Cobb cutting over the middle.
You might come out and come firing, throwing the ball, and
Juwan Winfrey's making plays.
On shit,
Yeah.
But I don't know. So
no, I'm with you. Another note here: Cardinals, they're 4th in the league in scoring, averaging 32.1 points per game. They've scored 30 or more points in 6 of their last 7, which is all the games this season, obviously. And all that, obviously, led by their MVP caliber quarterback, Kyler Murray. He's thrown for 17 touchdowns, only 5 picks. However, he's fumbled the ball 6 times so far this year. He also hasn't rushed for more than 39 yards in a game all season, which I found that hard to believe. And I was like, wow, that's shocking. Obviously, his speed and ability to get moving is elite. He hasn't had a crazy rushing yard game yet. What would be my question to you? What would be more beneficial to us tomorrow night overall through the whole course of the game? Would keeping Kyler Murray under 50 yards be more beneficial to the outcome of the game for us, or forcing a turnover out of him, whether it's a forced fumble or a pick? What do you think?
I personally am going to say the turnover, just because. What Henneke or Heineke, whatever the heck his name, what he run for last week?
95 yards, but he ran like 20 yards in the last play of the game.
True.
So 75.
So no matter what, they can give up those yards. I just feel like on the road in a game where we're the underdog, it's going to be winning the turnover ratio that can be the difference in the winning and winning and losing.
Time possession, turnovers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the turnover 100% for me, just because I think the Cardinals can beat us in a lot of ways other than Kyler Murray running for 50 yards. Yep. So, at the end of the day,
they got James Conner, Chase Edmonds back there.
They might only run for 10 yards, and they still do really well. So those turnovers, 15 for 19. Let's make it let's keep it at 15 for 19, and hopefully no red zone visits, but hopefully we just need a couple tighten ups.
No, I'm with you. I'm taking the turnover every day of the week. Under 50. He's only had 39 every game, and they're still 7-0. So he could get 20, and like you said, be in a good position to win. Whereas we get a turnover, we get an extra possession. Side note here, I didn't put this in the script here beforehand. Would in a game like tomorrow, do you want to, if we had the choice, do you want to receive the ball or kick off and then get the ball second half? It's a tough one. Tomorrow's a little different in my opinion, I think. I know my answer if you want a couple seconds to think.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow, I want to receive the ball. It's going to be freaking rocking in there. It's going to be louder than hell. Rodgers was talking about it. If you can survive that first wave of energy and just stay close and close and close, you're going to be in a good position to win the game. So if they can, survive that first, wave of just loud, everybody's pumped, and go down and score a touchdown on the first drive of the game and have the crowd, the Cardinals as a team, on their heels, or just not really on their heels, but just kind of oh shit, we're down 7, gotta score. Now we're all waiting for us to score rather than they scored first. We go 3 and out. I have nightmares of kicking off. They go up 7-0. We go 3 and out because we're undermanned. We're at some stadium and we're facing the pressure of the crowd and of ourselves from, we got to go down and score because who knows if we can keep them out of the end zone on this next drive, and then go down 14-0. It's whew, things get away from you quick. What are you thinking for tomorrow? I'm taking the ball to start the game and then hoping that we can, last game, I'm hoping we could score at the end of the half and,
Yeah, I mean, we both share the same if you're playing Sunday football or if it's a different team, the liking the kickoff first. As an offensive coordinator, I like getting the ball first as
Set
well.
the tone of the game.
I mean, yeah, to be honest with you, I think it would be a little bit of an advantage to get the ball first tomorrow night on a short week, depleted roster. Let LaFleur do his game plan right away. You know,
Yeah, go off script and go down and score.
yeah, just use your go. What plays do you have dialed up? Don't worry about being down 7-0 and panicking. Get the ball, go through what you guys practiced or what you wanted to do, so you guys so you look like what you plan to do. I mean, because I think that he'll come up with a game plan that will hopefully offset something in our favor, whether it's having Aaron Jones go out for a lot of passes out of the backfield and put him in one-on-one situation with linebackers.
Yeah.
That could be
second. He's second in the team in receptions, I think, with 26. So it's like Devontae's out, but we still got Aaron Jones.
I'm cool with. I'm always cool with kicking off.
Yeah,
I do think that just because I always feel like if you do kick off and you stop them and then you score, I just feel like that's a massive advantage.
Yeah, it's basic. Yeah, you basically stole a possession almost.
Yeah, but at the same time, going out there and scoring on your first possession sets a tone. So I'm
cool with pushes the pressure on their side, and the defense is like, all right, we can get after him and eat. We're up 7-0. Like, let's go. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that with Coach. I think, they were in the building on Sunday night after the win, prepping up for this game. They're as is every coach for every team, but these guys are locked in. Other notes here. We've got a bunch of injuries and COVID issues, but the Cardinals are also dealing with some injury issues of their own. J.J. Watt, former Wisconsin walk-on, big fan of his, was wanting us to sign him, but knew that realistically we probably wouldn't. This offseason, he went to Arizona. He is out for tomorrow's game with a shoulder injury, so that's unfortunate. We won't get to play against him or see him play. Offensive lineman Max Garcia, who is their center, also dealing with an Achilles injury, and he's in danger of missing tomorrow night's game too. So you know what Kenny Clark is saying? I'm going to freaking eat.
Yeah.
Whether he's in there or not, he's injured. I think he already is a backup to their original starting center. So if he's in there injured and a backup, Kenny Clark's going to eat. If he's not in there, Kenny Clark's going to eat on the third string. If they had their starting all-pro center, Kenny Clark is still going to eat against that guy because he's just that good. So Rashawn Gary had a monster week last week with 10 pressures, 2 sacks, forced fumble. Could be in for another big game tomorrow. So
gonna need it.
Any thoughts on that? Any D linemen gonna?
I mean, it's good to have JJ Watt out because I think I saw that his rating was like one of the third best interior pass rushing or whatever the heck it was. I saw that not too long ago, about an hour ago. I think it's good to have him out because, I mean, obviously you and I would agree that the weakness right now of our offensive line is kind of interior. So it's good to have JJ Watt out.
Yep, I agree.
And JJ Watt's one of those guys I respect the hell out of, just like you. So.
Oh yeah, no, just Mobe Gooner says still looking forward to this game. This team is so resilient. I love it. That's the word I've been using, is resilient, and it's spot on. This team is resilient. So before we hop into predictions, let's have a little fun and let's check out this tweet from a Bears fan, shall we? I didn't even show you this. John, you want to go ahead and read that off for me?
Who says no? Allen Robinson to the Cardinals for a second-round pick. Bears eat a lot of dead cap. Cardinals wide. I see Packers at the bottom of this, and I'm just like, what the fuck? The Cardinals wide receiver room get some help and lock themselves in NFC favorite. Packers don't go to the Super Bowl. Okay, really? So you're more worried about what can you do to prevent Green Bay from having success once again. Are we at this point every year right now?
Yes, dude. I find it hilarious and pathetic that Bears fans would offer their own quality players to other NFC teams just to ensure the Packers don't go to the Super Bowl. That tells me two things, John.
Okay, that's the type of stuff that in fantasy football you ban that type of stuff and you veto those types of trades because that's what people will do just out of spite. No. So one guy doesn't win, they'll try to stack another team, and that's why you got to have rules and regulations. But I mean, God, that's terrible.
Like, come on, John. That tells me two things. One, they're scared of the chances of us winning the Super Bowl this year, which they should because we have a great shot and we're probably going to go on to win the Super Bowl. And two, they'd rather see their team depleted even more than what it is already just to see the Packers not succeed. That, John, is what you call the little brother syndrome. Is it not?
That's pathetic.
Oh, my gosh. Like, come on. I clipped out his freaking profile and everything because it's just – it's not good, man. So someone has to take a shot at Green Bay because God knows Chicago can't do it. They were
Allen Robinson experiment in Chicago has been so terrible.
It's failed. It's all his fault.
He made his own bed choosing them over Green Bay. That was kind of the same thing with Khalil Mack or Oakland though. I think they. I mean, why does everybody keep betting on the Bears? That the Bears have been the little brother for Green Bay since existence. The 90s.
So yeah, since the 90s. No, you're right. I agree. Bears fans were big talking this offseason, and surprisingly, they still are big talking. This same guy that I clipped this tweet from and said, like, retweet this tweet if Justin Fields is going to be a good quarterback or whatever. It's like, dude, like okay.
And they've got so many problems over there offensively. I love it.
Yeah, I love seeing it. No, I do. Okay, that was funny. It's prediction time. You want to throw our trivia question out there?
Yeah, let's do it. So it's Cardinals related and is Green Bay related, but it's not. It doesn't involve anybody Green Bay wise. So which Cardinals quarterback threw the game-winning touchdown in 2003 to knock the Vikings out of the playoff race, giving Green Bay sole ownership of the NFC North?
All right, you want to repeat it one more time? Sorry.
Yep. Which Cardinals quarterback threw the game-winning touchdown in 2003 to knock the Vikings out of the playoff race, giving Green Bay sole ownership of the NFC North and the playoff race?
All right, I just threw that.
When I thought of the Cardinals, it's just like, we've got some bad memories, but this was a great mememory as a Packers.
This is a great memory from the Cardinals.
Not just to watch the Vikings to lose, but to help, Green Bay. It gave Green Bay what they wanted as well, and it's always good to see the Vikings knocked out.
Yep. No,
I remember that.
I'm right there with you.
Top of the end zone, shoved out.
Yeah, let's go through a couple comments here while we wait. I know we didn't get to all of them. So let's scroll back up here. CZ says, "Why do the Packers hate Aaron Jones? They used to hate Aaron Jones. Mike McCarthy used to hate Aaron Jones. And earlier this season, we saw how he treated Ezekiel Elliott. Didn't really give him the rock as much. That's just how he operates. So, I like the question. Let's see here. John Martinson, my guy John. Last 4 games, Arizona defense given up 20 or less points. Concerns about the Packers not being able to score. This is a good question because we only put up, we put up 24 against the Bears. What was the final score last weekend? 24-10?
Yeah.
Washington?
Yep.
So, we only scored 24. We haven't had a game where we've scored 35, 40 points like we did last year multiple times. First game of the year last year, we scored 42 against the Vikings, I think, whatever. Jared, my freaking guy. Good old trusty McCown.
Yeah. Good old trusty McCown. Doesn't he have like 10 kids? I know Philip Rivers does, but I thought maybe I'm just talking about the amount of teams he's played on.
I was gonna say I think it's the amount of teams. Honestly, you got those two flip-flopped. Jared, I freaking love how you DM me today. Hey, dude, when do you go live? I want to hop on. Don't see much coverage out here. He's freaking in here hot. Answers the trivia question. Good for you, dude. You freaking let's go.
All right. So what do you got for what for prediction, and then who's your under the radar guy who will have a big impact tomorrow?
Okay. All right. You slow your roll. I gotta get the question out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No,
I want to hear what
you're keeping us moving because we're already reaching our time limit that we cap ourselves with. That doesn't matter, but we still try to be
partnership here, Rob.
So, like you said, it's prediction time. We haven't talked yet, but you know my pick. I'm a very optimistic guy, John. I'm very optimistic. Realism isn't really there for me when it comes to picking the Packers because, like I told you, I'm in this Pick'ems league. It's like $20 for the year. I pick teams, the NFL teams who win each week. Whoever wins the most wins that week, whatever. Similar to our player Pick'ems. I don't know if I've ever picked a
Green Bay.
What do you say?
In the comment, Nate Poole caught it and received a key to the city in Green Bay, I believe. I believe you are correct. Sorry to cut you off, Rob.
No, you're good.
I saw it and thought it was funny because I remembered it.
No, you're good. Like I said, I'm in the Pick'em league. I don't think I've ever picked the Packers to lose in like 4 years. Even when Hundley was going, I was still picking them to win because everything I see, like on the timeline, social media, like TV, whatever I watch or listen to, during the day, each day, it's all about the Packers and like how they can win or like how they can make things work. Right. So it's been built into my head. So I'm going with the upset. Was watching the Cardinals-Texans game last weekend, and although they're 7-0, they're definitely beatable. And if anybody, John, is going to knock them off first, it's going to be an Aaron Rodgers-led Packers team. I'm going 31-24 Packers. Defense continues their stretch of impressive play. We emerge as the top dog in the NFC, even without most of our key guys. As for my under-the-radar guy who will have a big play tomorrow, for me, it's Josiah DeGuara. I'm thinking like a play action, boot, little dump off, and he takes it for like 20, 30 yards in like a crucial time of the game. Maybe it's like late in the fourth and 3rd and 6th, and we're deep in our own territory. Like, Josiah out there, and takes it for a good chunk. I could very well, Big Dog's been doing that. Josiah hasn't been involved in the pass game whatsoever. So that could be in LaFleur's bag of tricks, as everybody's been liking to say. He could whip that one out and say, oh, you know what? That H-back we took in the 3rd round that everybody's pissed off about just helped us win a key game that's going to have playoff implications, in one of Rodgers' last year, blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah. Prediction, I'm going 31-24 Packers. We emerge as the top dog. My under-the-radar guy, who will have a big play tomorrow, Josiah DeGuara. Play action, rollout pass. He leaks out, gets 20, 25 yards. And what makes it a big play is because it's going to happen at like a crucial time of the game. Like I said, 3rd down, late in the game, a drive extender, one of those things. So, what's going to happen tomorrow night, John? And who's your under the radar guy?
Gosh. It's just tough because I don't, Rob, I know you say it's hard for you to pick against Green Bay. I mean, it's just
pick the Cardinals, are you?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I was saying earlier about an hour ago, I said I think it'll be either a really close game that we're like, oh damn, we played well, or I'm hoping we don't get ran out of the building in the first 10 minutes. Rob, I think Green Bay is very good. I think Green Bay is in a bad position. I think
it's a cop-out.
they're down 4 all-pros.
A bunch of key guys.
I don't like to be this guy. Listen, I can visualize Green Bay going in there and winning, and Arizona maybe just isn't as good as what we think that they are, what everybody thinks they are coming into it.
All right, so what's your prediction then? What are you going with tomorrow? What's the score? Who wins? What kind of game is it?
God. I'm just thinking one team's going to score 27, one team's going to score 24. I think it's going to be a close game. I understand why the Cardinals have that that was 6-point favorite once Devontae was ruled out. I think it was 3 coming into the game. 6
It
point.
was I think it was a 3-point change when Devontae and a half-point change with Allen Lazard.
I think this is a big game to see. Like,
it's a measuring stick game, as I've
I
been
think it's a
saying
measuring stick game, but it's not putting out our best foot or whatever. I don't think this is the best our team. The best.
No, we haven't seen that yet this year. All right, so who wins? What score? And who's your under the radar guy?
Under the radar guy.
No, I asked you a different question. You just don't really skip it right over. If you're gonna take the ups or if you're gonna take the Cardinals, just own it.
I don't like to be that guy, Rob.
I know, but some people like Remus.
Something might change when we talk tomorrow when we see who's available. I just think that the Cardinals have that advantage, that 27-24 type advantage. I think that for Green Bay, if Green Bay were to win, who's going to be that big player that is going to do something would obviously be Aaron Rodgers, but the under the radar guy is going to have to be maybe he's not so under the radar. This is a tough one because I think Devontae Campbell has a tough matchup tomorrow. I think
he does.
I think he's going to be put in a position to have to make a bunch of plays.
It's his whole team.
Rashawn Gary.
Let's do it.
Let's go with Rashawn Gary.
All right, I got 31-24 Packers and Josiah DeGuara. You got 27-24 Cardinals and Rashawn Gary. Michael says teams with no expectations are the most dangerous. You know what, Michael? You're my freaking guy.
Exactly.
They're dangerous, and they're even more dangerous when you got Aaron Rodgers back there, the boogeyman, as most teams would refer to him as. We're going to win tomorrow. I'm
not trying to play both sides of the fence, Rob. I trust Green Bay. I hate picking against them. I just think that this is such a weird – I've been seeing that word.
The circumstance and situation
is a weird, short week, a bunch of injuries all over. Green Bay's still trying to find their way offensively, I think. But I just think that we're a little bit ways away from figuring that out. But I can also see Green Bay coming out and being like, you know what, F you, and being a bully.
And F your expectations. F the friggin' sports books. We're coming out going to make a bunch of Packer fans money. We're not bet guys, but
I believe in us. I believe in us. I trust in us. I don't know because
it's realistic to expect them to lose on a short week with everything that's going on. I get it.
Yeah,
but it's non-Packer fan like for you to choose against them. I'm disappointed. No, I just kid. We need that balance here because I'm always going to pick them to win unless Aaron Rodgers ain't playing. Then even then I'll probably still pick them to win.
Be fair, Rob. Your pre-year expectations when you said Green Bay win or loss, you said this would be the game they would lose. I said they would win. I said they would lose next week.
City,
they would win. So
that's true. And like you said, you say this every time we do our player pick'ems and game previews. Like as the week goes on, my optimism goes up. So like the beginning of the season, I'm like, oh, mark that up as a loss. Kyler Murray running all over our defense. Now we're here, and our situation's like 10 times worse than what it was than when I made the picks for them to lose. And here I am saying that I'm going to pick them to win. It's a perfect example. So before we close it down, Jared's got a question. Bigger story. Shorthanded Green Bay beats the undefeated Cardinals, or the Cards are 8-0 and beat up a severely depleted Green Bay. I think shorthanded Green Bay beats the undefeated Cards. That would be a massive story.
I think that would be a huge. I think 100%. I'm going that no matter what because I think a lot of people in the football world know that Green Bay is undermanned right now.
There's injured terribly. COVID lists are so out there. Like when somebody gets COVID, everybody sees it. When injuries happen, some people see them whatnot. But when somebody gets COVID, everybody freaks out and everybody's like this and that. Why aren't they this? Why aren't they that?
The thing is no matter what happens tomorrow night, I'm not buying or selling much because Green Bay's got some tough games coming up.
Yeah.
Chiefs, Rams, Vikings. We've got a ways to go, and I'm not going to let this one game be kind of like the measuring stick for me 100%. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I'm with you there. This is why I don't draft Packers in fantasy. I cannot be objective. I get it. Usually the only guy I draft in fantasy for the Packers is Mason Crosby because he's not like nobody really takes him during the draft, and if they do, it's way at the end. Everybody takes Devontae way too early. I'm always like, well, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, they're probably gonna split the load. So
They don't take Adams way too early. They just take him earlier than what you would like.
Yeah, no, yeah, you corrected me. They take him earlier than what I would like. He very much deservedly so is taken in the first.
It's hard. It's hard to take players for Green Bay because I don't want to sit there rooting for a player to score. Certain player to score, right?
And as I take the kicker, like whatever. It's Mason Crosby. I love him. One of my favorite players. So yeah. We're coming up on an hour, way over our thing, but that's just how it works. We get to chatting, and that's how it works. Any last words before we shut it down?
I mean, I think a win would be obviously really big. I'm not going to use the word huge just because, like I said, I think there's a lot to come in the next few weeks as well.
We're not even halfway through the season yet.
I think what after at the start of the year, I said I just want us to come out 2-2 in the next 4 games before the first game.
3-1.
I think if we come out 2-2 in these games too, that's good.
We'll just rattle off all 4 of them. And
hey, I would love to, but I also don't want us to win 10 games in a row and then shit the bed at the end of the year.
No, I'm with you. You want to get hot at the right time. You don't want to win 10, 12 games and then lose 1, lose again, and then it's like, oh, fuck, like, how do we lose 2 now?
I'd be happy if Green win 2 of the next 4. I know that sounds stupid. That sounds like a Bears fan expectation, but we do have a really hard schedule ahead. But I'm just saying that because
they're all a bunch of road games.
I think being 8-3 would be in a good spot for the playoffs in the division still. At the end of the day, though, the NFC is really off at the top. There's a lot of 1-loss teams, so I think we need to go 3-1 to hold that pace.
Yep.
And maybe 3-1 with a win here against Arizona would be the bigger of the 2, as opposed to a Kansas City game next week. Just because it's NFC. But you got to think about it too. Winning a game here could be big because they're in a division that those teams can all beat each other. So at the end of the day,
playoff implications at the end of the the
end of the day, they're going to play teams. Those teams in the NFC West are going to beat each other up and whatnot. So I mean, you don't want to lose this game and be 2 games behind them and then just be reliant on them losing a bunch of games. So
yeah, I'm with you.
I'm just thinking.
I get it. You're thinking, you're rambling. That's why I like it. That's why I like chatting with you. You ready to close it down?
Yeah, I'm good. We're gonna see each other tomorrow.
We'll see tomorrow
for a different type of picks tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
You don't even know who's gonna be on the picks tomorrow.
Do you want to go first? You want to let me go first? Up to you.
Bro, we don't even know who's playing yet tomorrow. Devontae Adams might be on private jet to get over there.
Yeah, he will be. All right, we'll touch back tomorrow. So we've got primetime football tomorrow night between 2 of the best teams in the league, and one of them is us. Get pumped, get excited, and whatever negativity you see out there, don't let it bog you down because we're going to win this football game tomorrow night, plain and simple.
What time the game tomorrow is at 7:15 or 7:30? Do you know?
7:15. I would be safe, but
so
what time probably 6:30.
6:30, 6:45, probably, Jared.
Yep, Jared. 6:30.
I'm good with 6:30 because I like watching the pregame stuff too.
Let's do it. 6:30. We'll book it.
Plan on 6:30.
Huge thank you to everybody watching, commenting. We love chatting with you guys. Follow us on Twitter at Rob Westerman3 for myself, at Jay Beckman 30 for John. Have a great rest of your night, and catch John and myself back on to chat with you guys tomorrow, 6:30 Central Time, 6:30 Lambeau time, to preview the game, make our player pick'ems. Have a great night, everybody. We'll catch you later. Thank you.